Yeah, this is not good because they try to present people to accept themselves. Oh, if you're fat, it's not a problem. No, it's a problem because if you, for example, you look at animals in the forest, let's say you take two elephants around the same age, you will
Hmm.
never see one elephant twice the size of the other. Never, because
Right.
it's not normal to be fat. But these people, they just want people to accept uh, the way they are, so that they can make money of that. But if you have to tell people, okay, if you are fat, continue to love yourself the way you are, but you need to do something about it. You don't just have to say, okay, I'm fat, that's the way I am. No, it's not a good way to be, because when you are fat, it's going to create diabetes, it's going to create high blood pressure, you're going to have problem with your heart, strokes, and stuff like that. It's not good. Because what people need to understand is that when we are born on this earth, the most important thing that we have is our body. It's our temple, and we've only
Hmm.
got one. So we need to make sure that we're in good health so that we can have a longer and fruitful life. And I'm sure all these things to make people accept, oh, I'm fat, that's the way it is, it's genetic and stuff like that. I don't think that it's empowering.
Listen to the vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. And I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Olivier Mankondo here. He's a wellness coach, and man, you lost quite a bit of weight. So tell us all about yourself and how you lost the weight.
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me. Yes, just like you said, my name is Olivier Mankondo. I'm a speaker, author, weight loss and wellness coach. And in 2016, I did change my lifestyle, and I was able to go through some profound changes that completely changed my health and my life. That's why I decided to start sharing all this information through my talks, my books, and my coaching program, so that people can reclaim their health and not be sick anymore. So in a nutshell, that's what I do.
Uh, where are you living at now?
Yeah, for the time being, I'm in the UK.
In the UK. How you like it over
Yeah.
there?
Yes. Yeah, I've been here for 23 years. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, with your weight loss, did you find that you have more confidence now than you had before?
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. So basically what happened is that, like I said, before 2016, my health was pretty bad. I was
Mm,
suffering from high blood pressure. I had massive headaches every day or every other day. And in fact, I had to have some painkillers in my wallet all the time because the headache was so bad. I
mm,
had dandruff, chest pain, back pain, abscesses, joint pain, and a lot of dental problems. And in fact, I had to see the dentist every 2 to 3 months because my eating habit was very bad. I was always having something to eat. Maybe at midnight, I will have my bottle of Coca-Cola with some biscuits or some cakes and stuff
mm,
like that. So it was really bad. And then in 2016, I was just watching a program on YouTube, and there's an Indian yogi who suggested that by stopping eating meat and all that, it was possible to stop 70% of the chronic diseases. And because of that, I said to myself, okay, there's nothing for me to lose. My health is already pretty bad. Just let me start, tried it. It was a certain Wednesday that I saw the program. On Thursday, I went to work. When I came back, I had my last meal of meat. And on Friday, I started. And now it's been 7 years since I've not touched a piece of meat or dairy product and stuff like that. And on the first week, I was able to lose 11 pounds, but it was not easy because of all the detox symptoms. I had more headaches that I've never had in my entire life. I had more cold sore, more problem with my joints and all that. And I was even wanted even to stop, but I said to myself, no, I will continue to do it. And then after a week, all these symptoms went away, and I'm starting to feel a lot of energy, a lot of mental clarity. And 4 months into my transformation, I went back to the doctors, and my blood pressure was completely gone. And after 9 months, I was able to lose 77 pounds. So basically, that's what the transformation I went through. And I've also been able to slow down my aging process quite dramatically, because a lot of people, when they see me, they think that maybe I am in my late 20s, but I'm actually 53. So,
oh, wow. Well, we're the same age.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. You know, when I was younger, I started drinking. In fact, I started drinking alcohol when I was 12, and it got to be a really bad habit. And when I became an adult, I don't think there was a weekend that went by that I didn't get drunk. And I started working the evening shifts. And with the evening shifts, instead of having a healthy meal, we were stopping off at the fast food place, and I was buying fried chicken just about every night.
Yeah.
And I noticed I was getting headaches. And especially like if I drank a beer, I'd start getting a headache. And so I said, well, I'm gonna stop drinking the beer for a little bit. And I felt sluggish, like almost lethargic,
Yeah.
And this went on for a couple weeks, and decided, you know what, maybe it's because I'm working the evening shift, and when I come home, I go to bed and I sleep in and just kind of lay around until it's time to go to work. So I said, I'm going to get up early and I'm going to start working around the house. And so I did. About an hour goes by and I started feeling like I'd worked almost a 12-hour shift or something.
Yeah.
And so I laid down and I slept until it was time to get up and go to my job. I'm on my way to work. And I don't know if you've ever smoked marijuana before or not,
No.
but it felt as if I was high, that euphoric feeling, but I didn't feel good. I got to work, went into my boss's office to get my assignments for the evening. And it seemed like he was walking away from me while he's talking to me. That's how I felt, listening to him. And then all of a sudden it was like walking into a tunnel where everything was turning black around me. And I don't remember this part, but my boss and a buddy of mine that was in the office at the same time said my eyes rolled back in my head. And I just remember my heart pounding real hard. I grabbed my chest, and luckily EMS is basically right next door to our office.
Yeah.
And they came in, and I was having a heart attack. And they gave me nitroglycerin, got me stable enough to get into the ambulance, rushed me to the hospital. They started right away doing the blood tests and all that kind of stuff. My blood pressure was off the scale. My blood sugar was over 600. My triglycerides were 1,500, which, if you know about triglycerides, normal is about 150. And
that's really bad.
Yeah. And then I found out that I was diabetic at that point.
Yeah.
And I went on a diet, but I didn't give up the meats altogether. I just switched to lean meat.
Yeah.
And I lost like 60 pounds. But I know once I lost the weight, all of a sudden my blood pressure went down. My blood sugar went down. I started feeling a lot more energetic. So I started hitting the gym. And I got myself into shape. I walked every day. I did all that stuff. So are you saying that we can't even have lean meat?
Basically, I don't think that it's a good choice, because I'll according to all the research that I've done, this is what's happening why we do have diabetes. In the medical system, they will tell you that it's because of the sugar or the carbohydrates. That's why we've got diabetes. But what people need to understand is that when you start eating the wrong food, what's happening is that every time when you eat something, or the animal product and all that, the blood, our system will produce insulin. Mm-hmm. Basically, insulin is like give a signal to the cells to open up so that the sugar can get inside, because whatever we eat gets transformed into sugar. And so now what's happening is that when we eat all these animal products, all this fat will get into our cells. And now when your body, you've got sugar in your bloodstream, the body produces insulin, but now that information will not go to the cell anymore, and the cell will not be able to open up. And then there will be a buildup of sugar in your bloodstream. And because you continue to eat, that buildup will go on, and at some point you will be declared as diabetic, because you will be insulin resistant. So now the problem is, if you stop eating animal product, because the body is self-healing, all this fat in your cells will go away. The insulin will start working properly, will be able to give the signal to the cells to open up, because you will not have fat inside your cells anymore. And everything will be good, and you will be you're not going to be diabetic anymore. And basically, for example, my brother, he was pre-diabetic, and I introduced him to this plant-based nutrition. That's exactly what he did. He's not pre-diabetic anymore. And there's another client of mine as well. She was diabetic, and she followed the same process. And after 2 months, she was off all the medication. Diabetes is completely gone. So for me, the culprit for diabetes is the animal product. It's not the sugar. Because, for example, for me, I was not diabetic, but my blood sugar was very high. But I'm eating fruit every single day, and my blood sugar went down. So it's not the sugar which gives the diabetes. It's the animal product. When the animal product, all this fat get into the cells, the insulin cannot give the signal to the cells to open up, to let the sugar inside, and that's why it creates diabetes. So even lean meat, I don't think that it's a good choice.
Okay. And you also developed a 3-step program?
Yes. Yeah.
How much can you tell us without giving all your secrets away?
Yeah. So basically, there's 3 steps. The first step is the the mindset, because this is very, very important. If you want to do anything in your life, you need to have a good mindset. And mostly people, when they want to lose weight or get in shape, they just go just on a whim, or end of the year resolution. They say, okay, I'm going to do that. And maybe after a week, 2 weeks, they stop. But if you have a good mindset, you say that you determine why you want to change, and you see that it's possible, because especially when people want, they have to stop eating meat, animal products and dairy products and all that. First of all, they think that it's not going to be possible. They think that it's going to be difficult. And yes, when you think that it's going to be difficult, it's going to be difficult for you to do it. And it's become impossible for you to make the change. So people need to have a good mindset. They need to see that change is possible, and they need to be sure that what they're doing is going to work. So this is the first step. The second step is to start eating the food biologically designed for the human mechanism. And when you look at us human beings, we are electrical being. We need microelectricity for our body to work in optimal way. And we can only have microelectricity from live food, which are fruit, vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and seeds. And why do I say that they are live food? For example, if you take a piece, you take a banana, a green banana, you leave it there. After a couple of days, 3 days, it becomes yellow, right? And if it doesn't get eaten, after a week, 10 days, only then the rotting process starts. So you can see that the banana had a life. It was green, yellow, and then it started the rotting process. But on the contrary, when you look at animal product, as soon as the animal dies, the rotting process starts immediately. Not after 3 days, not after a week, but immediately, which means that it's dead food. And like I've just said, we are electrical beings, and we need live food. And that's why I ask people to start eating the food biologically designed for the human mechanism. And when you eat that, your body will be able to extract a lot of nutrients from all these foods. And even your digestion, you will be able to have a good microbiome. Your digestive system will work in optimal way. You're not going to be constipated, because when you look at animal product, there's no fiber and it gives constipation. And you will see there are some people who can spend 3 days, 4 days, even a week without going to the toilet. And this is very, very bad for the human mechanism, because all this constipation, what it's going to create, all the food that you've had will be reabsorbed into the bloodstream. And because of that, people will start suffering from diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer, Parkinson, arthritis, and all the autoimmune diseases, just because of that. And then the last step, the third step, is to be able to give your body the digestive rest. Because in our culture, we've been told that we need to eat all the time. But what people need to understand is that when you eat, 80% of your energy goes to digest food. And when you're constantly eating, the cleansing and healing process can only happen when you're not digesting food. It's like, for example, if you take your car, you bring it to the garage, you can't drive it at the same time. And it's exactly with our bodies. The healing and the cleansing and healing process can only happen when you're not digesting food. When you're constantly eating, that's not good. That's why, for example, for me, I do intermittent fasting. I only eat at 12 p.m. and at 7 p.m. And in between, there's no snacking. So I give my body all this time to be able to heal and cleanse. And one people need to understand as well is that we've got what is called the HGH, which is the human growth hormones, which make you younger, which prevent aging faster and stuff like that. And the human growth hormone can only be released when insulin is not in your system. And like I've just told you, insulin, every time when we eat something, your body will pump insulin. So if you're constantly eating, that human growth hormone will never be released and you will age faster and stuff like that. So basically, that's the 3 process of my coaching program.
So not even fish?
No, not even fish, because what's happening is that, for example, if you look at a carnivore, you will see that we've got carnivore has got very short intestines, because the meat goes through the system very slowly. And human beings and herbivores have got very long intestine, because fruit and vegetable pass through the system very quickly. And what do I mean by that is that when you take, for example, a piece of fruit, it takes 3 to 4 hours to pass through a system. You eat raw vegetables, it takes around 12 hours to pass through a system. You eat cooked vegetables, it takes between 24 and 30 hours to pass through a system. But if you eat fish, meat, or chicken, it takes 72 hours to pass through a system. And when you look, for example, if you take, for example, a piece of meat, you leave that outside for 3 days. When you come back after 3 days, that piece of meat will be in a rotting state. Even if it's fish, chicken, or meat, it's going to be in a rotting state. And when you look at our internal temperature, it's 36 degrees centigrade. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. Maybe it's 98 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. So basically, it's hot. And so when we eat meat, fish, or chicken, the same rotting process will happen inside your gut. And that's why you will see a lot of people smell bad, or they got bad breath. They can brush their teeth as much as they want, but that odor is not going away, because all this rotting stuff are trying to get out. So even fish is not good, because it stays too long in your digestive tract. And like I've just said, all this will create constipation. And when you are constipated, all this food will be reabsorbed. All this toxin will be reabsorbed into your bloodstream, and it's going to create lots of chronic diseases. So even fish is not good. And fish as well has got mercury. And mercury is very, very bad. It destroys the nervous system. So not even fish.
Oh, wow. And you also wrote a book. Can you tell us about the book?
Yeah. So in my book, basically, in the first part of the book, I talked about show people that we are not omnivores or carnivores, because that's what people keep saying, that human beings are omnivores. But if you have to pay attention, you compare the carnivores and the herbivores, you will see that human beings will relate more to herbivores. And why do I mean by that? If, for example, you look at carnivores, they've got two-person canines, the incisors are short, and their molar are practically not developed, because carnivores, they've only got one movement in their jaws. They can only cut and swallow. They don't chew their food. So, for example, if you look at a cat, a dog, you will see that they just cut their food and they swallow. They don't chew that. But when you look at herbivores, they have to cut and chew their food. And this is exactly what we human beings, we do. So in this instance, we can see the similitude between human beings and herbivores. You look as well at carnivores. If they want to drink water, they lick up the water. But herbivores, they soak up the water. And this is exactly what we human beings, we do. You look again at carnivores, they pants, because that's the way for them to regulate their temperature. But herbivores, they sweat through their skin. And we human beings, we sweat through our skin just like herbivores. So again, here you can see the similitude between human beings and herbivores. And if you look at carnivores, the gestation period is 15 weeks or less. For example, a wolf to have cubs, it's going to take 9 weeks. For a cheetah, it's 13 weeks. And for a lion, it's 15 weeks. But when you look at big herbivores, the gestation period is 34 weeks or more. For example, if you look at a cow to have a calf, it's going to take 40 weeks. For a horse, it's 47 weeks. For a giraffe, it's 60 weeks. And for the human beings, it's 40 weeks. Again, the human beings falls in the category of big herbivores and not carnivores. So you can see that carnivores have got a shorter gestation period and multiple births. For example, a lioness or a dog will have multiple cubs at one go. And when those cubs are born, they are blind. They will be able to see after a week or 2 weeks. But you look at big herbivores, they've got single birth. For example, a cow will have one calf. An elephant will have one calf. And when those calves are born, they are not blind. You look at us human beings, we've got single birth as well, rarely twins. And when our babies are born, they can see straight away, just like herbivores. So again, when you look at carnivores, basically when we eat meat, it gets transformed into uric acid. And that's why you will see carnivores, they've got very powerful kidneys to get rid of that uric acid. And that's exact uric acid which creates gout in people. And when you look as well, you will see that there's an enzyme which is called taurine. That enzyme enables the digestive process to start in the mouth region. And only human beings and herbivores have got that enzyme. No carnivores have got that. And like I told you as well, is that the stomach acid in carnivores are 20 times stronger than ours. Because like I told you, carnivores, they've only got one movement in their jaws. They can only cut and swallow. So they need very powerful stomach acid to be able to digest the meat, the bones, and all that. So when we look at all these things, you will see that we are herbivores. There's no question about it. Human beings are herbivores. And to be more precise, we are frugivores. And even when you look at the gorillas, we share 99% of the same DNA. But what do gorillas eat? They eat fruit, vegetables, and tender root. They do not eat meat. So how come we share 99% of the same DNA? Which means that our digestive tract are practically the same, but gorillas do not eat meat. So that's what I talk about in the first part of my book. In the second part of my book, I talk about my transformation. In the third part, I talk about how the medical system deals with diseases, which is only they deal with symptoms. So when you have a symptom, they give you a pill to stop that. But that's not, they don't go to the root cause. For example, someone like me, I was suffering from all the time from high blood pressure or headaches. What they will do, they will give you just painkillers to stop that headache. But the headache will come back after 2 days or the next day. And that's why I'm saying that they only deal with the symptoms, not the root cause. And in my case, why I was having always these headaches, it's because when you eat the wrong food, when the body tries to get rid of these toxins, it will dump that in the bloodstream. and that's why you will start having headaches. But now that I've stopped eating all the animal product, the dairy product, the processed food, now there's no toxin in my blood, and that's why I don't have any headaches anymore. So for the past 7 years, I've not been sick a single day. No headaches, every stuff is completely gone. And in the last part of my book, I just give people a lot of tips that they can follow if they want to increase the level of health. For example, to use a water filter, because in the water that they give us, they put chlorine and fluoride. And when you look at these two components, they are linked to cancer. So people can buy a water filter. For example, using the microwave, it's very bad because by using the microwave, it's going to give you diseases like heart disease, cancer, reproductive disorders, and stuff like that. So it's all these tips that I give people so that they can increase their level of health.
Yeah, that's what sucks is we live right by the water tower. So we're at the beginning of the line, and well, you can smell the chlorine in it bad. And we have a filter on the refrigerator, which is where I usually get the water from. Whether I'm making coffee or tea or just want to drink water, I get it from there. And, I mean, I know plastic is bad for you, but we like to get the bottled water because it tastes better. And I can't stand all that chlorine. When we first moved in and I'd take a shower, the chlorine was so bad, the smell would make me sick. You know what I mean? But where'd you learn all this stuff?
Yeah, so basically, since my transformation in 2016, because it had a very profound effect on my health. So I was starting to read a lot of books. For example, the book from How Not to Die from Dr. Greger, Michael Greger. I bought a book from, what was the title again? So I bought lots of health books. I've watched a lot of program on YouTube. For example, some documentary like a Conspiracy, What the Health. I've bought lots and lots of books to learn all these things. And above all, it's my own experience as well, because it's something good to learn something, but I apply that in my life and I see if it really works. So that's where I've got all this knowledge.
Yeah, I still believe that the health system is geared towards the pharmacy business, because all they want to do is throw pills at you. I use, for example, I used to take pills for depression and anxiety, and then got into meditation and did away with, I weaned myself off of those pills and I don't need them anymore. In fact, I felt like they were doing me more harm than good. Even the warning on the label would say could cause depression, or you can't say the word on YouTube because they'll censor it, but to off yourself. And I'm like, why would I take something that's supposed to make me not feel and think this way, but could cause me to feel and think this way?
Yeah, exactly.
Or let's take the pandemic. It wasn't even properly tested, but they want everybody to take that shot.
Exactly.
Look what's happening to people. Oh, and by the way, I have to stress, because you will get struck with that they don't like you to give medical advice if you're not a doctor, and I'm not a doctor. So I have to say, talk to your doctor before you get off your medications. I weaned myself off, but I don't know what it would do to you. So you talk to a doctor.
Exactly. Because when you look at the medical system, it's based on the pharmacy. So basically, when you look, the biggest business in the world is the drugstore, all this medication, and they live off sick people. So basically, if they have to give you some medication that will make you better, you're not going to buy that anymore. So they need to keep you in the loop. So you continue to use the medication. And when you look, like you said, at the side effects, every single medication that you will take has got some kind of side effects. And I just don't understand how these things can make you feel better. I just don't understand, because there's lots of holistic alternatives that you can use that will make you good without going through all these things.
Yeah, I had one medication that I would take and it would flare up my asthma. I'd just start coughing and then my asthma would kick in and I'd have to have my inhaler to breathe again. And I quit taking, we finally narrowed it down to that one specific medication and quit taking it. And I haven't really had but maybe a few flare-ups, and that's because somebody was smoking close by. But it's crazy. They push these medicines that seem to do more harm than they do good.
Exactly.
And it's going to sound like a conspiracy, but I believe that they have the cure for cancer, but they don't want to reveal it because it's a moneymaker.
Exactly. Exactly, because I've heard that, for example, just to have the course of chemotherapy, the government makes something like $130,000.
I believe it.
Yeah. So why would they give you the cure? Because I've seen lots of stuff on YouTube where the people have got the cure, they will rate the places, and they just don't want people to know anything about that. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And you're also a speaker?
Yes, I'm a speaker as well. So I go and give a speech here and there where they call me. I'll go and give a speech because I really want to empower people. Because for me, I've come up to the conclusion that we don't have to be sick, because being sick is not our default. The default is being in good health. But the system is built not in our favor. It's just to make us sick. In mostly any endeavor of the life, you will see that what the information that they give us is the wrong information, so that we are sick. And when we are sick, we have to go and buy the medication. And when you buy the medication, it's going to give you more side effect. And when you have more side effects, they add you another medication until maybe you've got 10 medication that they've never, they don't even know. All these medication put together, what combination it's going to give. So there's all these things. So that's why I think that we don't have to be sick. Just by following the laws of nature, it's possible to live a disease-free life. And I'm an example of that. Like I've just said, the past 7 years, I've not been sick a single day, because I think that I'm eating the food biologically designed for the human mechanism. And as well, you need to control which goes into your mind, because this is something which is very, very important, because I believe that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And if you let lots of bad stuff getting into your mind, lots of negativity and stuff like that, it's not good. And that's why, for example, since 2017, I've stopped watching TV because of all the news, it's always negative what they talk about. And what is going to happen, it's going to make you to feel anxious, to create stress. And when you are in a situation of stress, your body will start producing adrenaline and cortisol, and this will adrenaline will make your heart beat in a regular way, and cortisol will impair your immune system. And when your immune system is impaired, you'll be open to any kind of diseases. And when you are in that state, what you will do, you will go and buy the medication. So you are really in a loop. That's why I've stopped watching TV, and I go to give speech to empower people.
You think the medical society knows this and why it seems to be encouraged about the negativity that goes on and the reactions to your body?
Exactly. I'm sure they know that. And for example, when you look at, I've read that since 9/11, the depression has gone by 20%. And why is that? People will start buying more medication. So they know this thing, that when they push negativity, they push fear and all that, they know that it's going to create, people will be imbalanced, they will feel anxious, they will be stressed out, and what they will see in the advertisement that if you feel stressed, you need to buy this and this pill. And people have to go over there, because the way we've been brainwashed is that people don't want to think for themselves. And when you start thinking for yourself, people will start thinking that you are weird. And people don't like that. They don't like people having independent thought. And basically, I think this is done by design.
Yeah, that's the way I feel that social media is geared to bring more fear and division between us. And I don't like these particular shows to sound like I'm trying to be political. But there's this push for like the fat positivity movement, where it encourages people to eat whatever you want, and it's okay to be fat and all that kind of stuff. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, this is not good, because they try to present people to accept themselves. Oh, if you're fat, it's not a problem. No, it's a problem, because if you, for example, you look at animals in the forest, let's say you take two elephants around the same age, you will never see one elephant twice the size of the other. Never. Because it's not normal to be fat. But these people, they just want people to accept the way they are, so that they can make money off that. But if you have to tell people, okay, if you are fat, continue to love yourself the way you are, but you need to do something about it. You don't just have to say, okay, I'm fat, that's the way I am. No, it's not a good way to be, because when you are fat, it's going to create diabetes, it's going to create high blood pressure, you're going to have problem with your heart, strokes, and stuff like that. It's not good. Because what people need to understand is that when we are born on this earth, the most important thing that we have, it's our body. It's our temple, and we've only got one. So we need to make sure that we're in good health, so that we can have a longer and fruitful life. And I'm sure all these things to make people accept, oh, I'm fat, that's the way it is, it's genetic and stuff like that. I don't think that it's empowering. It's not empowering. And for example, even when they are speaking about being genetic, if you look, you will see that for most diseases that exist, it's only 5% which is really genetic, because we've got what is called epigenetic, which means that it's the terrain which determines how your genes will interact. For example, if the terrain is bad, yes, a gene which was defective will manifest itself. But if you are eating the food biologically designed for the human mechanism, even if these genes are not good, they will stay dormant. And that's why when they say to people, oh, it's genetic, basically it means that there's nothing that you can do about it, just stay the way it is. And I think this is not empowering. It's done by design to make people not even question that. Because when you say that it's genetic, the first thing that will come up in your mind is that, okay, it's genetic, there's nothing I can do. So be it.
Right. Yeah. Because like my grandfather on my dad's side was an alcoholic, and I became an alcoholic, but didn't have to stay that way. I was told that it's something that's kind of passed down from generation to generation, but I don't drink anymore. In fact, even the thought of drinking anymore makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, for example, in my family, a lot of people are diabetic, and they told us that it was in the genes. And that's why even my brother was already pre-diabetic. And myself, I was already going into that direction. But since I've changed my way of eating, it's completely gone. So it was not genetic, because when you eat the same food, your parents, your grandparents, all of you eat the same food, it's normal for you to have the same disease. It's normal, but it's not genetic.
Have you ever been in a debate with someone over this?
Yes, at the beginning, but now I just don't want to get into debates anymore, because it makes you feel not right. It's like you're wasting lots of energy. And I just don't want that. What I do, if someone says something, I will just give him an answer. If he's ready to believe, that's okay. If it's not, that's not my problem. I just don't want to get into debate anymore. Even in my YouTube channel, sometimes you will see, on my TikTok channel, you will see sometimes people will make bad comments. I just don't care. I just don't want to get into this debate anymore because it sucks your energy, and I'm not ready to do that anymore.
Yeah, I used to debate with people myself, and now it's like, what's the point? If they're not going to change their mind, and they're not going to change your mind, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
But I will see people go on like Dr. Phil or something like that, and they say, well, I'm fat, but I don't have any of these diseases, and it's not true that you can get that. It's just because of your weight that you have diabetes and heart problems. That doesn't happen to me. What do you say to that?
Yeah, so basically, you will see maybe you are fat, you don't have diabetes, or you don't have some heart problem, but maybe you will have a problem with your kidneys that you don't know yet. And what people need to understand is that when the physical body works correctly, you've got lots of vital energy, and your body will be able to give you symptoms, because symptoms is a way for your body is trying to speak to you. Let's say, for example, you've got a headache. It's your body's trying to talk to you to say that you are doing something wrong, try to fix it. Or for example, you've got, I don't know, high blood pressure. That's a way for your body to talk to you. But when your vital energy is so low because maybe you are too fat, your body will not even give you all these symptoms, and you will think that you're in good health. But what's going to happen? Maybe you will have just a heart attack and you die straight away.
Yeah.
So not having any symptoms doesn't mean that you're in good health. It doesn't mean that. So that's what people need to understand. I will think that if your body is giving you symptoms, it means that you still have some vital energy and your body is telling you to fix the problem. But when you are fat and you don't have any symptoms, I will be worried.
Yeah, you might see some overweight people that'll live to be in their 70s, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone in their 90s that is obese.
Yeah, for me in the 70s, up to this day, I've never seen one. Most of the obese people that I've seen, they die when in their 50s and maybe in the 60s, but in the 70s, personally, I've not seen that yet.
Yeah, I've seen them make it to their early 70s, but not their late 70s. Yeah. So what is your website?
Yeah, so my website is oliviermankondo.com. That's oliviermankondo.com. You can go over there. I've got, I will give you a link so you can put that maybe in the show notes. I would like to give your viewers or your listeners a free gift to download, which is 7 tips to lose weight. And if they go on my website as well, they will be able to click a thumbnail and go to Amazon, or they can go straight away to Amazon, where they can buy my plant-based nutrition book, which is called The Plant-Based Nutrition, How It's Going to Change Your Life. And in my website as well, I've got my 16 one-on-one coaching program, where I help primarily women over 30 to lose weight, even if they've been struggling for years. And basically, when they go on the link that I will give you, there will be a free online masterclass that they can watch. And towards the end of the masterclass, they will be able to book a discovery call with me, a free discovery call. And on that free discovery call, we'll be able to establish where they got stuck and why they got stuck, and see how and if I can help them. And from there, if there's a good fit, then we can work together and I can help them lose weight and reclaim their health. Because what I'm doing, it's not only a weight loss program, but it's a wellness as well, because what people need to understand is that we've been all told that we just need to lose weight, but that's not really the problem. If you start eating the right food, automatically you will lose the weight and you will be in good health, because there's no point of being slim and being sick. Because I've got, for example, my uncle, he died last year of diabetes, but he was slim. So being slim as well doesn't mean that you're in good health. So you need to,
Sure.
yeah. So basically that's what I do with my coaching program.
Yeah, my dad was skinny, but he had diabetes as well. So yeah, I know what you mean. And even though I'm not the biggest advocate for social media, I myself have some social media pages. So what are yours?
Yeah, so my social pages, they can go on. I've got a TikTok account, which is Olivier Mankondo. I've got a YouTube channel as well, which is Olivier Mankondo. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on all this stuff, but I'm not really active as such. I'm more active on TikTok and YouTube, because I like to do videos and stuff like that. But in the link that I will give you, they will be able to go through all these, all my social media.
Yeah, I will add all that to the description and make it easy for folks to find you. But Olivier, man, that was enlightening. I'll have to say, being a Texan, it's going to be hard to give up barbecue. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you reaching out to me. I'm glad we got to talk.
Okay, thank you very much, Cal. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your show. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. And I also want to thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, well, I appreciate that you stopped by, and I hope you'll come back. Hit that subscribe button. For my regulars, man, you guys are awesome because you make it possible for this to happen. So until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network